Hey guys, Toxic here with Battle Bros, episode 2, talking about some Rainbow Six Siege, more importantly the new operators and new DLC that's recently come out. With me today is the one and only Savage.
I am Savage.
Yes, you are. And once again, I'm Toxic, and yeah, so it's been a while since we've come out with an episode of Battle Bros. We were, getting back into the swing of things, and some stuff happened, and we haven't been able to post anything, but we're back at it now. So apologies there. We're going to be opening up, making a little bit more broad when it comes to the show. We're doing, obviously today we're not doing like 40k stuff. We're doing video games. So today, Siege. So yeah, so since Siege came out, oh, what, a few months
Like,
now? 2 months?
yeah, maybe three.
Two
Going on
months, maybe
three.
three. Yeah. Um, we've been playing it pretty solidly. I brought it when it came out, and then probably about a week or two later, you picked it up, and that's when we kind of really got into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we played it pretty solidly up until when the new operators came out, and we've had some fun with those. And that's what we're gonna kind of do a review, kind of just thoughts, opinions, impressions on the new content. Uh, not really gonna go in too much about the older content since it's been out for a while now. So Operation Black Ice is the first DLC to come out for Rainbow Six Siege. It came out about 2 weeks ago, I think, second of February.
Something like that.
To people that had the season pass, and then a week later, I think, for everyone else. So what it came with was a new map, two new operators, some guns and whatnot. But I mean, really, when it says it comes with guns, it comes with guns for those new operators. So it's really just the new operators and the new maps. The new operators being Buck and Frost, and the new map, don't remember its name, Frozen Boat. Basically what it is. And we've probably played a few hours each with the operators, I guess. So yeah, so I guess since I have the page up for Buck first, you want to just kind of go over Buck, and then we'll go over Frost, and maybe talk about the new map.
Yeah.
So Buck is, first of all, the new operators are Canadian. They're from the I think it just says Joint Task Force, but I'm guessing the Canadian Special Ops or whatever. Buck is an attacker. He uses a Buck is an attacker. He uses he has two different guns, and his what do you call it, gadget is what's called the skeleton key. It's an underslung shotgun, basically. So I guess where do you want to start on kind of going over this new operator? Kind of his guns, his gadget, or
Well, guns are pretty much the same as all the rest, really. I'd say probably start with gadgets.
well, the guns themselves. I mean, they are different guns. They're new guns.
Yeah,
There's the
they're new guns.
C8 SFW, basically a machine gun, more or less. There's really nothing too special with it. Similar to most of your machine guns that the other operators have. Again, and then it can have its underslung shotgun because that's Buck's gadget. And then his other gun is CAMRS, which is kind of like a designated marksman rifle. Um, it's more of a more precise rifle. I believe it's single shot, semi-automatic, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
yeah.
You
And
might be able to change it anyway. So you can change.
yeah, that's the one that I use more often. But yeah, and then his pistol, MK1 9mm, pretty average pistol. I mean, pistols are pistols. All the pistols in the game are pretty average.
Pretty. Yeah.
So there's not much to say on his guns. He has a faster kind of machine gun option, and then a slower kind of rifle option. His gadget, he's got a breaching charge, and then he can have a stun. So yeah, his yeah, his generic gadgets are the breaching charge or a stun grenade, and then the unique ability is the skeleton key, um,
I,
SK412 skeleton key.
I don't know why it's called a skeleton key.
Yeah, it's. I asked this to kind of a decent amount of people when he came out. I was like, if I told you that his ability is a skeleton key, what would you think that it does? Like without telling you like what it was, just the name. And most of them said it was like something to do with opening doors or something like that.
Yeah,
And
which I mean, you can use a shotgun to shoot down like the wooden doors, but it's every gun can do that. Like any gun can shoot down the wooden doors anyway.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, when it does come to picking your operator, probably about 75% of your choice is going to come into the unique gadget that they're going to get, and then the rest will just come down to whether or not you like their guns and whatnot, and depending on how armored and mobile they are. So when it comes to a skeleton key, I mean, what's your impressions of an underslung shotgun? And we both tried it out. What's your impressions of how it works and just
I,
over the other gadgets as well?
yeah, well, I mean, as like on its own, I reckon it's pretty good because it gives you the option to take like a rifle or a machine gun, a shotgun, and a pistol. So you have like that longer range and the shorter range with higher damage, and you don't really need the pistol too much. Whereas
Yeah,
most other classes, like shotgun and a pistol or machine gun and a pistol, so it does it it makes it a bit easier. But then you pretty much lose a gadget in a
yeah,
sense as well.
yeah, absolutely. It's surprising for a gadget as well. Is that most gadgets are very limited in how many times you can use them. So when I first saw this whole skeleton key, I was thinking like, well, is it a shotgun where I get like 3 rounds, kind of thing? Like, is it like it fires it and then I have to like put it in another shell or something like that? Like, and I only get three. That was my first impression because just judging by the other gadgets, and you get very limited runs. It actually gives you a decent amount of ammo, and I've never run out of ammo with that one yet. And like Savage was saying, it's that's why I prefer the rifle that he can take because I can set that rifle up for long range, and then when I don't need the long range, I can switch to the shotgun, and I'm perfect in close combat. And that's where you're gonna get Buck, and he's gonna be a lot more versatile when it comes to combat. He's gonna be long range, close range. He can do it all. In saying that, he is very selfish in that sense, and that's kind of what I've said like since he came out was you and it ties into what you're saying where you're gonna lose a gadget. I mean, technically that is his gadget, but it's still just a gun. It's got one use to kill people. Yeah, you can shoot it at a door and maybe open it up after a couple of shots, but at the end of the day, it's a shotgun. It's designed to kill people, and that's what you're going to be doing with it. So it's still just a gun. It's still just designed for getting kills. So it's kind of selfish in my opinion, and it doesn't really mesh well with the team. It's purely helping you and no one else.
Yeah, well, majority of other gadgets assist the team in some way or another.
Yeah, and even if you go in and say, well, like Capkin, his traps are just designed to kill. Yes and no. They are designed to kill, but they also are denial. If you place them at a wall or something like that, it'll slow them down. It'll stop them from if it's not, in my opinion, it's not the best way to place a Capkin trap. But if you place it at the door, that's protecting the objective. No one's gonna. It's going to be a lot more difficult for someone to come in and take out that Capkin trap because then they're going to be alerted to, well, there's someone behind that door because they just took out the Capkin trap. And in that sense, you are helping your team because now your team knows that someone just took out your trap, so they're behind the door. Um, I don't use my Capkin traps like that, but most people seem to do. um, so yeah, in that sense, I find it just doesn't mesh well with a team. Um, you're almost setting yourself up as being like a lone wolf kind of thing. You're just gonna go in there and get as many kills as you want, well, as many kills as you can, and just do whatever.
the the only way that well, not the only way, but like the way that it would probably best work is if you're playing by yourself
Hmm.
and you don't have like a headset or something, or you just don't like talking to shitty little teenagers in chat.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see that. You just ranking up, solo, and you just want to go in there. You don't want to mess around with any. You don't want to mess around with any, any teams or anything like that. Probably not the best way to play it, but hell, you can play it with however you want. And if that is, then yeah, I would probably play Buck a lot more actually if I was playing alone. I would
Yeah,
probably, I would actually definitely play him a lot more. But I don't. I only play with people. I only really play with you when we're playing Siege. So I don't really want to take Buck. Um, in terms of like other attackers, I think he does still stack up well. His guns are good. He has, which we haven't mentioned, his armor rating is 2, and then his speed rating is 2. So he's very quick and he's very armored, which is a good
yeah,
benefit because usually you're getting like a lot of speed and not much armor. There's not much middle ground, and he's like a great middle ground. The issue that we've had is that I play a lot of Thermite and you play a lot of Sledge, and their abilities are very like team orientated in a sense. Being able to get through a reinforced wall with Thermite helps you, helps your team, helps everyone. Being able to smash a wall down really quickly with Sledge, again, helps everyone. Um, it's hard for me to say, if there's not a Thermite, why would I take Buck over taking a Thermite?
yeah,
If there's not a Sledge, why would I take Buck over Sledge? It's hard to say in that team sense of why would I take anyone over that. Um, it's even difficult playing solo. I would find if I wasn't playing with anyone and I was still just playing by myself. Even then, I think I would prefer Thermite just because even if my team's not with me and I'm lone wolf in it, I still want to be able to break through that reinforced wall. It's
yeah,
like, and Thermite has his machine gun, which he could if you spec out for more of a medium range, then you're pretty much good for long and short range encounters anyway. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I like Buck. I really do like Buck, but I feel like he doesn't really fit in well with either the other operators and the game itself. He kind of feels more
yeah,
like a Call of Duty player rocking up in
yeah.
Siege and being like, "Let's go, let's do this."
Let's get them kills.
Exactly, and it's like, well, what are you bringing to the team? And it's like, well, I got this little shotgun thing. It's like, well, that doesn't help us. So I don't know. Maybe other people have kind of figured out a way to use him a little bit more, team orientated. But I just don't see it. I mean, when we've played it, and maybe this is just how our comp doesn't work. Where if I play him and you're playing Sledge, you've got a shotgun already. So it's like it's not like I'm going to come in and take point and be like, okay, I got my shotgun, I'm ready to go. You've already got your shotgun, so I'm still playing my long range with Buck. And then when you've played him, I guess that's a little bit different. So I can Thermite, then you can switch to your shotgun and kind of take point. But even then,
Yeah,
it's like at that point, couldn't you just take Blitz or uh, someone with a shield, and then
yeah,
wouldn't a shield Thermite combo be better than a Buck Thermite combo? That's just my opinions on him, but
yeah. He's not the worst, but he's definitely not the best either.
yeah. I guess before we kind of move on from him, we'll just kind of go over like what our loadouts would be on him. So when it comes to primary weapons, I've already stated that I take the rifle. I think you take the machine gun. Is that correct?
Yeah,
How do you have specifically know how you equip it, or
I think I got like the triangle, the green triangle scope,
it's just like a
like
reflex
reticule.
kind of scope? Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And then just like I think he has. Oh no, he doesn't have a hand grip. I don't think because he has the underslung on there.
Mm-hmm.
But no suppressor or anything because
And
suppressors
then
are terrible.
stun grenade or breach charge.
Um, so I probably stun grenade. I think Just because usually when I'm playing him, you've got thermite, or you
Yeah.
can just knock down a wooden wall anyway. It just takes a little bit longer.
So yeah, I play the complete opposite. I have the rifle and I have the scope that's like what's like 2.5 magnification, just because
Yeah,
I want the longest range possible, and then I'll just switch to the shotgun for everything else. And it's worked for me pretty well. But again, it comes down to how you're working with a team. When I bring Buck, Savage usually has Sledge, so I can hide pretty far away. He sledges down a wall, and then I got a really good line of sight into a room, and I'm pretty far away, and I can just scope into that room and take people out. Um, Secondary weapons, pistol only gets one. Generic gadget, I go with I have the stun grenade, but that's just I keep forgetting to change it to the breaching charge. Um, I'm not a huge fan of stun grenades. It's hard to tell if they've worked or not, so I don't trust them. Um, and I just like the breaching charges, just in case you've died or something like that. I
yeah,
think really it doesn't matter how you want to kid him out because he is such a solo operative. He works well with himself, so you really just want to kid him out how you want to kid him out and how you're gonna get the most kills. Because if you're playing Buck, if you're not getting kills, then you're not doing your job. And that if you're Thermite, you don't have any kills, but you've blasted through a wall and you've done all that. You've done your job. If you're if you're Buck, then you have to get kills, so you want to be kidding your guy out, as best as you can.
mm.
Um, you know. So the next operator that we can go on to is Frost. She is the other Canadian operative that came out with Black Ice. She's a defender. She has the same armor rating, 2, speed rating, 2. Her primary weapons are a Super 90 shotgun, and then a 9mm C1 machine gun or submachine gun. And then a secondary weapon is the MK1 9mm pistol, which is the same. Her generic gadgets are a deployable shield and a nitro cell. And then her unique gadget is a bear trap, basically. What do they call it?
Welcome map.
Yeah, welcome, Matt. The Sterling MK2 LHT apparently is what it's called. But yeah, they call it the welcome mat. A much more fitting name, as it's basically it kind of looks like a rubber mat, and then built into it is basically a bear trap without the spikes or the sharp serrated edges. It's got like an inner trap and an outer trap. Basically, how this works is you place it down like a bear trap, like you'd expect, and once you place it down, if someone stands on it, an enemy stands on it, it incapacitates them. Basically, they drop to the ground as if you would when you were hit by taken out by a shot or something like that, and you need your teammate to bring you back up.
I'm pretty sure you can't crawl anywhere though with that, can you?
Um,
Because
you might not be able to because it is on your leg. It does actually grab on your leg. I haven't noticed myself. I haven't really paid attention enough because we've actually only been caught in it twice. One apiece.
Mm.
Savage got caught in one first.
Oh, whatever.
You did.
You just had to throw that in.
I did. So I guess talking about our guns first. The Super 90 shotgun, pretty standard with, on par with the other shotguns in the game. Pretty average range, and by average I mean pretty terrible.
Shock. Yeah.
High damage, so you're gonna kill him. So pretty high damage. I've been actually using that shotgun. I don't know why. I kind of like that shotgun. Her other gun is also kind of nice. The 9mm C1, kind of like a submachine gun. It's just almost like a P90 kind of thing. High rate of fire. Can go through the clip pretty quickly. It's really going to come down to just what you prefer there. If you're a shotgun guy or a machine gun guy. I've probably played both equally, just because I'm not a fan of either one of the guns. None of them have jumped out at me yet. But this is. Oh, go ahead.
I probably prefer the machine gun thing.
Hmm. Yeah, that extra range is nice, especially when you're defending and you know across the room they break through a wall or something like that. There's not much you can do with a
Yeah,
shotgun. So yeah, I probably prefer it. It probably edges a little bit more, but still,
yeah, they're
none of them
pretty.
really stand out to me.
No,
Um, it's pretty much her main, her unique gadget, the welcome mat, is well, I'm a fan of it. What about you? How do you feel?
um, I don't mind it. It's. I still think the Captain Trap's sort of better, but at the moment, not many people are noticing the welcome mat. So if you place them well enough, like at the top of a stairwell or something like that, you usually can incapacitate someone. But then they're so far away that their teammates probably just going to pick them up.
Yeah, it's one that's always going to be compared to the Capkin Trap because they are very similar. Uh, the welcome mat doesn't really get hidden behind a like kind of door or anything. It just gets placed on the ground. It's like a black rectangle on the ground. It's relatively easy to spot, but in saying that, during the battle, it is kind of something that can easily slip your mind. It's probably easier to not see that in some situations than it is the Capkin one, because the Capkin is like a bright red laser or that bright red kind of hook going through the wall. It's probably a little bit easier to hide. I've probably played Frost the most out of any operator lately since we've been playing, and the most success you're probably going to get is if you put them in windowsills or well, just outside of windows, because when people jump through the windowsill, they either can't see it or they don't have time to stop themselves jumping through, and they land in it and get incapacitated.
Yeah,
Another way is to not put it directly at a door. It's just to put it to the side of the door. So as soon as they enter the door and then try to like turn around the corner or something, they hit it then. It's really just a matter of kind of getting a feel for how they work and kind of a feel for how people interact with them. It's just mind games in a sense. I feel like she's a little bit different than Capkin in the sense that Capkin works better, and I don't think this is opinion at this point because I've definitely gotten a decent amount of kills with Capkin, where he works better if he is a roamer, where he will run out, place his traps away from the objective in random doors, and it's not necessarily random either because you do get a sense of where people are going to be traveling. Not always true, but you do get a sense of where they're going to be heading in. Just playing the game more, and you want to be placing them there so they get trapped on them. And then because you don't have enough time to make it back to the objective, you usually end up just kind of roaming. I feel like what you were saying with the welcome mat is that because it doesn't kill them, whereas Capkin will kill you, this one just incapacitates you. They're not good when they're used too far away from the objective because when they're further away from the objective, the enemies have more time to help their teammates up because they're not under fire. So they get knocked down and then they just get helped back up, and that doesn't help. It doesn't help your team. I mean, it does a little bit of damage, but it really doesn't help your team at all.
no. I think the her traps are better than Capkin's because you can place them anywhere, so you can hide them a bit better. But at the same time, like you're saying, if they're too far away, then they're pretty much useless.
Yeah,
Like you may as well not use them.
I think they're better at just kind of putting it in the vicinity of the objective, if not in the objective room, in the hallways of the objective room, like outside hallways.
Yeah,
That way, if you get someone in the hallway, you know they're right there. You know they're behind the wall. If you know exactly where you put that trap, you could shoot through a wall, get the kill, or at least you know that they've gone down and maybe they're about to get helped up. And if they're about to get helped up, if you're quick enough, that's 2 kills. if they're in the room with you, worst case scenario, the defenders breach in. They're not looking on the ground for traps. They're
No, they're
dealing
looking
with
for people.
they're dealing with the people. They're shooting at the people. So they come in through a window. They get trapped. They just run for the hostage. They get got. I think that's the best way to use her. And it's just not to expect a kill. Like you're not trying to get kills with them. It's more of just kind of backup in a sense. She's definitely more of a team player than Buck because her traps can help in that sense, and you can provide kills for your team because if you incapacitate someone, even if you're dead, they can be finished off. They've definitely the 2 times that we've been caught in them has definitely foiled our plans because we've been breaching, we've gone down in traps, and then that second that it's taken us to help each other up, by that point we're dead because someone's come and killed us. So they're definitely good. They're a little bit difficult, and I'm not a huge fan of them, but at the same time, I think they're balanced. They can be effective, and they're pretty fun to use.
I would say Frost is, in my opinion anyway, is better than Buck in terms of like rating, just like the new operators on their own.
I
I'd
would
rather play Frost than Buck.
definitely, I would 100% say that Frost is better than Buck, only in the sense that she helps the team more than he does.
Yeah,
and that really does matter in a team based game, a 5v5 game.
well, and she has like a proper gadget instead of just another gun, which that's the one big downfall I find with Buck is like not having that another gadget. It's just like a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, you do lose a little bit of.
You're basically a recruit at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. So it's it is what it is. I guess we could go over kind of how we would equip her. What about you? What's like your primary weapon that you would use for? I think you said the machine gun.
Yeah, I'd go the machine gun. I'm a big shotgun fan, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of her one. I I just like the not that her shotgun's bad. I just like her machine gun better.
It's a little harder with defenders using shotguns as well, I think.
Yeah, unless you play smoke like me and you get the Mac 10.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then for her generic gadget,
What should she have again?
she got a
She's
deployable shield and a nitro
shield
cell.
and nitro cell. That's right. Probably the deployable shield because you can hide a trap behind that as well, like especially in a hallway. So you set up the deployable shield and then put the welcome mat right behind it, so they have to jump over, and then pretty much it's going to land straight in that welcome mat.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would say as well. I'd go with the machine gun as well. Obviously, you have to take the pistol. And the nitro cell is really nice, and it's tough to pass up a nitro cell. And ordinarily, I really don't like the deployable shields. I think they get in the way, and I think they kind of hurt a little bit more than they help at times. But what I'll end up doing with her is I'll take the deployable shield. If there's a hallway nearby, I'll put the deployable shield up, and then I'll put the welcome mat behind it. It's one of those things where it's like they're gonna see it, and maybe someone will be like, "Oh, there might be a trap behind that," but they may also just kind of jump over it and get caught. They may also be looking for people behind it and see the welcome mat, kill the welcome mat. It's hard to say. Right now, though, it seems like it's a viable tactic. Not a lot of people have like caught on. So I've definitely got a decent amount of I'm not gonna say kills because it doesn't kill them, but injured statuses.
Yeah.
Doing that tactic, so I'd definitely take the deployable shield. Nitro cell could work, and if you think about it, like if you have the nitro cell say next to one of the traps, and then you trap them, you see that you got an injured point, and then you detonate the nitro cell, killing them. Could definitely work.
It's going to be real tough though, because you have 3 traps to 1 nitro cell.
Yeah, But I mean, it could definitely still work.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky enough, it could actually get you two kills if you wait a little while. Because if they're down on the ground and someone comes to help them, you detonate that nitro cell. A harder point is hiding the nitro cell so they don't just shoot it because they will hear it. So it's difficult, but it's possible. And that's kind of the thing with Siege, though, is that everything is kind of meh. Like every gadget is pretty meh because they all have like pretty bad downsides. Like Capkin's trap, absolutely terrible in terms of hiding it. At the same time, I've gotten double and triple kills with it, and at those times you're like, that's amazing,
Yeah.
you know. So it's hard to say. She definitely has the advantage or the one up on Buck, I would say.
Mm.
Next up would be the map. The map is basically it's a frozen yacht. It's a yacht that's like I guess kind of crashed into the side of I can't remember exactly where. They did mention it. I think somewhere in Canada, and now it's like all frozen over. Really nice map. You just play entirely on the yacht. Well, there's a little ground that you walk on before going on the yacht. There's nice destructible areas, walls and stuff. It's, pretty big, nice area. How do you find the new map?
I don't mind it. It's not. I like it for the visualness, like especially like when you lay down like a shield or you put up like a deployable like barricade or something like that, and like it starts to frost over as well. But at the same time, it's a meh map for me. I don't know. There's just maps out there that I prefer to play rather than that one.
I like it personally. I've had some pretty good games on it, and at this point, I found some parts in the map that I kind of don't exploit. But if I'm the defender, I know like there's nice long hallways that have like rooms at the end that you can hide on and just like shoot them as they come down the hallway. And since it's a new map, you do get people that are a little unaware of areas to be careful. And if you know them and they don't, you could get some really nice kills. So I personally like it just because I've done really well on that map so far. But again, it could just be because there's not a lot of people that are aware of the map yet. And once like map awareness comes up a little bit more, people will understand it and be a little bit more careful. But right now, I really enjoy it. It's just a different thing as well. It's just kind of nice to see. It's not just a generic building or something like that.
Yeah, I do like it. It's one of the better maps.
Yeah,
There are a lot more crappier maps out there.
yeah. How do you find in terms of value that this first DLC has come out with so far?
Not the greatest. Um, I mean, you do get the two new operators. Like you unlock them for free if you have the season pass and the map. And it all comes out for free anyway, but you have to purchase the operators. And I think they're like, what are they, like 25,000?
25,000, yeah.
Which sounds like a lot, but once you've
If you've been playing for
unlocked
the
all the
last 2 months, yeah.
yeah, like once you've unlocked all the operators and like got your loadouts how you like them, there's really nothing else to spend your money on. So you end up just accumulating money anyway. So it wouldn't take you too long to buy them.
Yeah.
So
I have three 10K skins right now. That's
yeah,
that's a little bit over because some of them are 12K. So that's like about 35,000 right there. If I didn't have the season pass, then I would have just saved that money and I would have basically been able to buy them both as soon as they came out.
yeah, I think if you bought the season pass like we have at this point, it doesn't seem like it's money's worth because like you can get them in the game anyway, and it's not that hard to. It wouldn't be that hard to unlock them just by racking up credits and stuff. So and they're nothing that special.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at this point, on the season pass, but there's still what another four,
Three, I
three,
think. Yeah.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. I'm going to say the unpopular opinion here, and I'm actually not a fan of how they kind of did the season pass. I am and I'm not
Yeah.
at the same time. The reason why they make it free for everyone is to not make a barrier between the community and not split that. because as soon as you bring out the first DLC, you've just split your community, and you have people that are playing just on the base game, and then people that are playing on the DLC, um, which you know kind of sucks. And what you do see in like Battlefield and all that is sometimes it can actually be harder to get games in on the newest stuff because there's not as much people playing the newest stuff. And you know what I mean? Like when you buy like premium for
Yeah,
Battlefield, and that kind of does suck. And you would think, well, if they just let everyone play on this stuff, then we could play all this new cool content, more regularly. Um, so I kind of see it from there, but at the same point, from a value standpoint, I don't like it. At the time of buying the season pass, I brought like two games previously, Battlefront and Fallout, and I brought the season pass for. So when my wife picked up Rainbow Six for me, she just brought the season pass anyway because she thought I was gonna want it. I wasn't thinking about doing it, and I was even more disappointed when I looked in and I was like, well, I'm gonna get this stuff for free anyway. Why would I pay $30 for it? So, you know, it is what it is. And like you were saying, you're gonna easily get the money anyway. Yeah, you get 1 week early access to it, but I mean, who gives a shit in the long run? Like you're
yeah,
gonna be playing the game for months. Like who gives a crap about the one extra week? And but a lot of people like that how they've done the season pass. You can buy it if you want. You don't have to buy it, but I don't like it. I think they could have done more for people that brought the season pass because it's $30. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure. So, well, American.
I think
It's like
I
half
think
the
it was
price
like
of the game.
yeah,
Like,
like for like if you're just looking at the DLC content, and because it did come out for free, essentially, like yeah, it's pretty good DLC for not paying anything. But then for the people that have paid the money for it,
yeah, it's like
there's
what?
no nothing else like it, even like give us like a special like gun skin or something. It's not much, but
Yeah,
there's something that where like the people that are spending their money, their extra money on the game, are actually getting a reward for it instead of
well,
like
they did
the
give out a gun
shitty.
skin. They gave out one gun skin right now. It's one
They
gun
did.
that only IQ uses.
Oh yeah,
And then they are going to be giving out some other gun skins, just a pack of like the wildlife ones, I think, which is okay, but it's only gun skins, and gun skins are overpriced anyway, and I don't give a crap about gun skins. The thing that gets me is that they do give you a boost to your reputation, whatever, the
oh
in-game
yeah,
money. It's so useless. You might as well not have it. You get like two or three,
six.
or yeah, six or something. You don't even get like double digits when it comes to the reputation boost that you get. It's like
No,
I, they
like you. How many points do you get when you win a game? You get like
like
two
three,
hundred
yeah,
and
200,
two,
300, or what, I don't know.
and then you get an extra 6 to 8
It's
credits
like a two
for your
percent
season pass.
boost, like
Yeah,
maybe. It's like give us a 10% boost. Make it so like we always have one of those boosters activated. It's like we
yeah.
basically paid for the game 1.5 times. So it's like, come on. Um, in saying this, I'm not going to complain too much because you have a choice on whether you want to buy it or not. Um,
It'd
I
just be
brought it.
nice to see. Just be nice to see something that's unique to the season pass.
Something a bit more than what they've given. Like there is
Yeah,
unique stuff there, but I don't think it's unique enough. Um, I don't I don't see why they couldn't have just still had the operators locked in for paid only content.
yeah,
I'm not going to complain too much because free stuff is good, and you don't have to buy the season pass if you don't want to. It is an
but
option, an optional option there for you. But you make the
yeah,
map free, keep the operator paid, and then you're not splitting that community because you're still playing on the same maps. It's just some people have access to other operators.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, if you look at it from a business standpoint, where is the customer's incentive to buy the season
Mm-hmm.
pass?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Besides just sheer laziness of having to save money or like credits to buy the operators.
or in your case, seeing that I already had those new operators and then you wanted to play the new operators too.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's an interesting thing, and we'll see how it goes. I like free content, so you know it is what it is, and we'll see what happens. I just would be nice to you know maybe get something else for the $30. I know I was disappointed when I found out what you actually got. So, but I mean, for anyone that doesn't want to play the season pass, it's good. And
Yeah,
it's nice to also be like, if you're picking up the game 6 months later, a year later, right? And you're like, I want to buy this game, but I don't want to be like behind in DLC and stuff. I don't want to have to buy this game and then buy the DLC. And it's like, well, you don't have to. You can buy this game 6 months later, a year later. The DLC is already going to be released, and you're already going to get it.
yeah.
So that's nice, but we'll see. We'll see what the next one's like. Right now, when you're just looking at it, it's like probably not worth buying the season pass. But the DLC itself and the content that you get is pretty nice. 2 new operators, a new map. It's not going to blow anyone's mind. It's not the best DLC that's ever come out, but it's all good quality stuff. The new operators are nice. They're not overpowered, so it's not like you're going to see them. You are going to see them because people are going to want to play them, but they're not overpowered. So you could easily see a team without them and be fine.
Yeah, well, most of my games with Buck, I've rarely gotten a kill in before I've died.
Yeah. But yeah, it's overall it's a nice DLC. The operators are nice. They're fun. The new map's fun. It's a nice little bit of life to the game.
Yeah, it adds something to the game to keep it fresh, at least.
Yeah.
Unlike Battlefront.
No. Battlefront's added more maps.
They added what? Yeah, they added Jakku.
They added 2 Jakku maps.
It's just Tatooine, though. It's fucking sand.
It's your opinion.
But it's not visually stimulating. You look at Tatooine and Jakku, and like the biggest difference is there's just fucking like rubbish all over the ground.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's cool. I like going and hiding in the wreckages and stuff. And
it's cool, but it doesn't feel like a new place. Like whereas the new map in Siege, you're on a fucking you're in the snow on a boat, which they don't have in the game yet. Whereas they've already got Tatooine, they've already got Hoth.
In saying that though, Jakku came out about a week after the game was released.
Yeah,
for free for everyone, and not part of their DLC. So they still have a lot more maps planned for their DLC as well. Like their DLC hasn't even come out yet, and we'll see what happens when it does.
But it's Hoth.
Just at Tatooine.
Oh, with Tatooine. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and then Cloud City, then the Death Star, and then one that hasn't been named yet.
See, Cloud City and the Death Star I'll be looking forward to, but they're like the 3rd and 4th DLC.
Yeah. Anyway, that is not what we're talking about today. So that'll be for another episode. I'm sure we're gonna go over Battlefront. I'll have Seb on my side. So when that episode comes out.
Making teams.
And but yeah, Rainbow Six Siege definitely a game you should check out. If you like first-person shooters, it's, in my opinion, one of the best first-person shooters to come out in the last, probably 5 years at this point, because nothing new comes out with first-person shooters. But this is really fun, nice tactical game. The biggest thing I would say about it is just don't be put off by kind of the one life tactical team elements. It's not as daunting as it looks, and most people that play seem to be idiots anyway, so if you're bad, you'll just fit in anyway. But yeah, great game. Check it out. Anything else you want to say before we move on? We'll end this episode.
Seb also needs to buy this game.
Well, we'll let him get the division first, and we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, this was episode 2 of Battle Bros. With me today was Savage.
So,
like always, I'm Toxic. And have a good one.
Tada bye.